harder than me, that person's prettier than me. Alright, so everyone. And that's a pretty normal thing, we're all human. So I wanted to talk about comparison today and why it's not such a good thing to do. Alright, so I watched this video yesterday because my mom was at a Bible study, and it talked about how you could either go two ways. You could either compare yourself to others in a positive way and be puffed by pride. So you could be like, wow, I am so much prettier than that person. Like, look at that person right over there. or you could do the opposite and be defeated by feeling bad about yourself. So that could be anything, whether it's comparing yourself to someone's to an object, like that person has a better or something, or it could be like how you feel about yourself. So I wanted to talk about that because I think that there is a good balance between the two, and that is humility. And humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. So if that makes any sense, I mean, it means like you're not being selfish, you're not constantly thinking about yourself. You're not constantly being hard on yourself compared to other people. You're not constantly being really overconfident compared to other people. It's just, you accept yourself for who you are. And I have a couple Bible verses. So the first one is Philippians 2, verses 3 through 4. And it says, "Let nothing be through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others." So it's saying, don't look at people's objects, and don't look at how people compare themselves to others. Look at who they are and who they represent and what they believe. So it's not all about who has better things than the other, who is better than the other, who's smarter than the other. It doesn't matter. It's based on what you believe, and it's based on who you are. So, and then I have another verse, and it's Romans 12, verse 3, and it says, "For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith." So I understand that everyone is human, and we all make mistakes, and so it's a natural thing for us to compare yourselves to other people. It's going to happen maybe almost every day. Like, you see someone's clothes are like, wow, I look like wow, like her outfit is so much cuter than mine. I'm wearing like a t-shirt and shorts, like ooh. And it's going to happen, but I think the most important thing to do is know that you are your own self, and you are who you are, so you can't compare yourself to other people, because everyone is unique, and everyone is so different in many ways. And I think it's really important that instead of being either really self-confident and really cocky about yourself, or being really, feeling really low about yourself, I feel like it's really important to find a good balance and to have humility, which again is thinking of yourself less. So I have an example. So I have a friend who, I'm not going to name names, but I always got so jealous of her, and I would just look at her and I was like, wow, like, she's so talented, like, she's so pretty, and everyone likes her. Like, I wish I could be like that. Like, I feel so much below her. I feel like she's such a better person than me. Like, she does more for the community, like, all of that stuff. And I felt so low about myself compared to my friend, even though she had no idea how I was feeling, and she wasn't doing anything to make me feel like this. Like, she wasn't bragging or anything. It was just the way she was. And I eventually, I figured out that, like, she had a lot of differences too, and she was jealous of a lot of things that I had. So it goes back and forth. So the person who you could be saying, like, I'm jealous of them, they could be saying right back to you. So it's really important to think about that whenever you compare yourself to another person. So does anyone want to share, like, what, like anything about how they've been compared to other people? You know, James?
I always remember people telling me don't compare your struggles to other people's because God sets up our trials so that our trials seem the most to us in that He only sets so much that we can handle, so that somebody's struggles that may seem inconsequential to you may actually be really big problems that they really need to handle compared to you, and vice versa. So you could have what seems like a little load to other people, but really is quite a lot to you. And so I'm still learning how to not be really hard on myself, because I used to get a little competitive sometimes after these things. I'm trying to learn how to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. Mr. Glasgow?
Yes. I just thought of, I'm thinking of social media because, you know, as awesome as it is, how it connects us and everything else, it's also one of those sources of comparison. And I remember one of my pastors said one time in a message, it was Pastor Josh actually, he said, don't compare your real life to someone else's highlight reel. Because that's exactly what you're seeing on social media. You're seeing someone else's highlight reel. And so, you know, a lot of times you'll be looking at that and you'll see in your news feed all these awesome things people are doing and think, man, my life is just boring compared to that. But you got to recognize that's someone else's highlight reel, right? People aren't going to post their real life necessarily on social media. And when they do, we usually unfriend them because it's depressing and they constantly are, you know, complaining about stuff, right? So, anyways.
Yeah, I completely agree.
My dad was talking to me about this kind of thing on Sunday, and he said, like basically you just said, and when we look at other people and compare ourselves to them, and we look at how far we all are from Jesus, we're all equidistant and not any better or worse.
I agree.
I think also, not just friends, like social media, a lot of people with like siblings, older or younger, is you can't compare yourself to your siblings because you've seen their struggles and you may not remember, and at the same time it plays back because you're saying like you can't compare your struggles to like your friends. And you may think that you know what they've been through because, like, you've been through a life with them, but at the same time, they may be looking at you and thinking, you know, I wish that I had their life.
Yeah, I completely agree. Alright, so in conclusion, just like Renee was saying, if you could see how much God loves everyone the same, then you wouldn't compare yourself to other people. But unfortunately, like we don't understand how much He loves us. It's just that great, and it's like unbelievable about how much He loves us. And He doesn't see all your flaws. He doesn't see who has something better than the other. He doesn't see if you have something better than the other. He sees you, and He knows that He loves everyone just as equally and just the same. So that is all. So does anyone want to close out?
Dear Father, thank you for your words, thank you for your message, Lord. Thank you for just feeding us today, Lord. We need it every day. Lord, we pray that we take this message and go out into this world and apply it to our lives, Lord. Lord, we love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name.